Hello everyone, Casey Banks with KCBD News Channel 11 as we continue our Decision 2026 coverage of the upcoming municipal election in Lubbock as we interview all the mayoral candidates. And joining us now is Peggy Bohmfalk. She's one of the, first on the ballot, Peggy. So thanks so much for joining us and talking about your run for mayor. First, just introduce yourself to the voters.
Well, my name is Peggy Bohmfalk. I grew up in Florida, then I enlisted in the Army out of college. Spent six years as a counterintelligence special agent and Russian linguist in the U.S. Army. When I got out, I moved to West Texas, and then I moved to outside of San Antonio, and then beginning of 2001, I called Lubbock home.
And we were talking about, you were saying that Lubbock's a city like no other.
It really is. I've lived around the world, so many different places. Every few years it seems like I move, and Lubbock is a city like no other. When I first came here, it was just looking for a new beginning. I didn't know where I'd land, and I rented a hotel just to stay for 4 days and check out Lubbock. I had heard about it, I'd never visited, and I instantly fell in love with the city. I mean,
you were talking about some of the great people and the way that people treat one another here in this city.
Yes, I was just shocked how open and honest and helpful everyone was. Everywhere I went, trying to enroll my kids in school, just stores and shop owners, they were so just open, helpful, wonderful, accommodating people.
You know, we're very proud of that, and now you're jumping way ahead and running for mayor. So tell us why you decided to do that.
Just to see if I could make a difference. I'm a disabled vet, and I don't know what to do with all my abundant free time now, since I technically do not have to work. Everybody I know works at least 2 jobs, and if they're fortunate enough to not have to work, they're volunteering full time. So I feel a little lazy, and I just wanted to find a way to give back to the community I love so much.
And tell us what your objectives are in running for mayor. What would be your priorities, and what would you hope to do or accomplish and make that difference at Citizens Tower?
Well, I'm really concerned about the rapid growth and progress. I do have a vested interest in keeping the character and culture and all the wonderful things about Lubbock as it expands. So my focus is on, intelligent, smart, well thought out, planned growth.
And as we deal with that growth, there are a lot of things that come with it, in terms of, adding infrastructure around the city and just keeping up, like you said, with that growth. How would you do that and balancing the growth with, making sure that the budget is set and that sort of thing?
Well, I would have to rely very heavily on all the advisory councils and committees and LEDA to, my platform is this: I am going to listen to the residents, the current citizens. They do have all the solutions. They just need transparency to foster the growth. There's already, one of the things that makes Lubbock great is there is forward planning. They are planning in advance on growth, not being reactive to it. They're being proactive. So I just want to sustain that and do it in a way that benefits all the current residents. I don't want to prioritize, future residents over the current residents. So we just need as much transparency for the residents to know where they're how, why, and where their tax dollars are being spent.
And so you see yourself sort of as a steward in all that if you were to be elected mayor?
Right, that's how it should be. The mayor works for the citizens. It's not the other way around.
And why would you encourage people to be a part of, this election, other municipal elections? Municipal elections aren't the ones where we see the highest turnout, but why would you encourage people to be involved, whether it's voting for mayor, city council, any other sort of election that's coming up this May?
Your vote matters. I mean, there's only 6 councilmen and 1 mayor, so 7 people, that's a lot of responsibility. We rely on the citizens to to vote the right people in, to you know, getting tongue-tied here.
That's all right.
They do have a voice. They need to have a voice. If you don't vote, you don't have a voice.
Okay. Anything else you would like to share with the voters about your platform?
My platform, I don't feel, and I think it's not just me, several of the current council members and the mayor is not always listening to the majority of existing residents. And you covered it. One recent issue was impact fees. The majority of the citizens showed up and voiced their opinion. And there was a 5-2 vote to do away with the impact fees. Like, why? Why are they not listening to their constituents, the people that voted for them? I still haven't got a great answer. So, other than we're going to do it this way because it's the way it's always been done, but we are in changing times. So we need to stay relevant and look at, maybe amending some antiquated ordinances and how we do things.
Well, folks will have their chance to make their voices heard, as you mentioned, at the ballot box starting April 20th. That's when early voting begins, and then Election Day is May 2nd. So, Peggy, thanks so much for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Case.
Join us May 2nd for that election coverage you can count on.